Everyone is watching America. Everyone is watching Iran. Everyone is watching Israel and Russia and Saudi Arabia. But the country that could change the entire trajectory of this war with a single decision, the country whose strategic position is so uniquely powerful that both sides need it and neither side can afford to antagonize it, that country is Turkey. Turkey is not cleanly on one side or the other. Turkey is doing something far more sophisticated than taking sides. And that sophistication, that extraordinary strategic positioning, is exactly what makes Turkey the real kingmaker of this war. Because once you understand what Turkey is doing and why, you will understand that the outcome of this war may not be decided in Tehran or Washington or Tel Aviv. It may be decided in Ankara. Let me start with geography, because in geopolitics, geography is destiny. And Turkey's geography is perhaps the most extraordinary strategic asset of any nation on earth right now. Every day, without exception, Russia's entire Black Sea fleet, the fleet it has been using to project power in the Ukraine conflict and to threaten NATO's southern flank, exists entirely at Turkey's discretion. If Turkey closes the straits, that fleet is trapped. That is an extraordinary lever over Russian behavior that Turkey has exercised with remarkable discipline and strategic patience throughout the Ukraine conflict. But Turkey's geographic leverage does not stop there. Turkey shares a border with Iran to the east, a long, complex, deeply intertwined border with a history of trade, tension, migration, and mutual dependence that goes back centuries. Turkey shares a border with Iraq and Syria, the territories where Iranian proxy forces operate and where the supply lines that sustain Iran's regional influence run. Turkey is a NATO member connected to the most powerful military alliance in history, with the second largest army in that alliance, with American nuclear weapons stored on Turkish soil at Incirlik Air Base. And Turkey controls access to the Black Sea for the entire alliance. In a single country, you have leverage over Russia, leverage over Iran, leverage over NATO, leverage over the Middle East, and geography that puts it at the center of every major strategic calculation happening in the world right now. If Turkey decided that American conduct of this war against Iran was contrary to Turkish interests, Turkey could make American use of Incirlik significantly more complicated. Not close it, not give up its NATO membership, but make it difficult in ways that would impose real operational costs on American military planning. That is a card Turkey has not played, but it is a card Turkey holds. Turkey wants three things. First, Turkey wants strategic autonomy. Full, genuine, unquestioned freedom to pursue its national interests without being constrained by alliance loyalty or great power pressure. The ability to buy Russian gas and American weapons simultaneously. The ability to negotiate with Iran while hosting American bases. The ability to be a NATO member without behaving like one whenever NATO demands conflict with Turkish interests. This war is accelerating Turkey's achievement of that autonomy because it is demonstrating in real time that Turkey's indispensability to all parties makes it almost impossible to discipline or coerce. Second, Turkey wants regional dominance, not the Ottoman Empire, not territorial expansion in any formal sense. Turkey has been playing this game for 500 years. It is very, very good at it. And here's what I want you to understand about what all this means for the outcome of this war. Turkey is not going to end this war by force. Turkey is not going to announce that it is taking over mediation and present a peace plan. Turkey is going to do something far more subtle and far more effective. Turkey is going to make itself so necessary to every party that when this war eventually finds its way toward a negotiated settlement, all roads run through Ankara. The communication channels will be Turkish. The trusted interlocutors will be Turkish.